This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so from today we are going to see something with PL SQL. Okay, and again I'm telling you, this is all over a different role. Okay, just like we have a Power BI developer, just we have a Java developer, just we have a .NET developer. This is going to be all of a different role. Okay, but as I would say, as a Power BI developer, you have to be strong in SQL. Okay, PLSQL is not required, but but let us learn that as well. Okay, we are, if someone asks what is PLSQL, you should not tell that I don't know, or you should not tell that okay, I haven't got an opportunity, I've tried. Okay, I
Yes,
have a
sir.
basic knowledge. Yes.
Sir, previously you asked one thing, 919018 for something phone number. I
Yeah.
opens in laptop.
Okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, right.
Please don't disconnect.
Okay, sure. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. So what I was telling is in real time, PL SQL is something, a role wherein they'll be start writing a logic. They'll be writing a logic and they'll be implementing in the project. Okay, you will not be doing it. You will not be doing it. So as a Power BI developer, what is your roles and responsibilities? Maybe you will creating a charts, you will be creating visuals, you will be writing some functions. But when comes the data loading, data loading is something where how many records has been loaded. Okay, how many records have been loaded, if there is any output that is generating a result, how you can store it. This is all something which you will be taking care, right? So we will cover, okay, we'll cover at a high level, like how it will internally, how it will work, how the coding will be taken care. Okay, all this it's going to be learned. Okay, so those who find it difficult, like those who feel that coding is difficult, maybe you can ignore in your resume. Those who learn this, maybe next 3 4 days, whatever you're learning, maybe you can put it as basic knowledge on procedures or basic knowledge on triggers, something you can put in your resume, so that they will have an idea, the interviewer will have an idea, okay, you know at least this. Okay, what if they ask you a question, what is the difference between SQL and PLSQL, right? This is just a basic question, this is not a in-depth question, or this is not a something which will be completely asked as a PLSQL developer. In general, if I ask, I'm not asking a complete question, but I may ask what is the difference between SQL and PLSQL. You cannot blink your eyes in that time. So that is the reason next 3 4 days we will spend some time on PL SQL as well. Okay, but in the real time, this is something which you will not be doing it, but we don't want to learn incomplete, we'll complete it with complete SQL and PL SQL. Okay, that is the reason we have organized these topics as well. Okay, so now what exactly is this PL SQL is, what exactly this PL SQL is. Today we are going to see what are the things that is possible in SQL, what are the things that is possible in PL SQL, right? And we are going to discuss four important topics, and that are called procedures, functions, views, and triggers. These are the four topics which we are going to discuss. Okay, in case next 3 days, if you're able to capture whatever I'm telling in your resume, you can add one more point after SQL, like you will be mentioning in your resume, like I have a very good knowledge on SQL, hands-on experience on SQL. I've written all the advanced functions. Okay, good with the window function, rank function, dense rank function. You will write this. You are good with joins. You are good with constraints. All this something which you will be putting in a resume, and also you will be adding one more point: basic knowledge on PL SQL. Okay, so whatever you listen for next 3 4 days, if you capture it, you can always go and add one more point in your resume. This will make your resume professional, like they understand that you know some concepts here as well. Okay, Maybe the other set of people, if you feel that no, this is going to be complex, I cannot write coding, so I'll try to explain my best from coding perspective how it has to be coded. In case if you still find it that this is going to be like I will not be able to understand, it's okay. It's not like a something, it's not going to affect, because your role is going to be a Power BI developer, right? Your role is going to be a Power BI developer. So it's fine if you're not understanding, it's fine, but make sure you listen. If you listen, it's almost clear. Okay. Now now let us go and say what is SQL versus PL SQL, right? So far what we have learned in SQL is, okay, we got the data, we loaded the data, we created the table, we inserted the record, we updated the value, we deleted the record. Maybe if I'm not at all happy, I will drop the table and I'll go. What next we did? Next we learned was, okay, putting some restrictions to the table. Someone is entering manually a random data. So this is going to be a random data entry. This I have restricted. So what did I do? I have introduced a concept called constraints. I have introduced a concept called constraints. So once I did a constraint like primary key, foreign key, check constraint, I was able to restrict the data. I was able to solve it. Next, what happened? Data is present in multiple records. We applied joins concept. Again, we did that. Again, we went for additional columns, which were I was writing some logics. Everything I've written, but nowhere I have used some logics like how it is implemented. Just a straightforward query. Constraints, change it in the table structure. Joins, just go and apply inner join, outer join, left join, right join, self join, and just go it and do it. It's a very straightforward. But what if I have to write a logic? What if I have to write a logic? Okay, you may ask me what type of logic? You may ask me what type of logic? Okay, in case in future, if you want to log into some application, you have to enter your username and password, right? So let us say you want to enter a, you want to, this is an application, let us say Amazon application, and here it will be asked username and it will be asked password. Okay, in the table you have something like user table. User table. Okay, so this user table is something which is there in the system. User table is something which is there in the system. Okay, now here what I will do, I will have user ID, I will have password. Okay, whenever you are entering user ID password, it will come to the database and it will check whether the user ID is matching with the password. Whether the user ID is matching with the password. If it is matching, you enter the application. If it is not matching, it is not entering the application. There is a logic behind this. The logic is matching. You already got registered with Amazon. The next time you log in with Amazon with the same password and user ID, if the name is matching with the same name, if it is matching with the same password, then only it will go here. This is called a logic. This logic you cannot implement in a normal SQL. You need some logic to be written. That is possible only in PL SQL. Okay, so going forward, any application logic you want to implement, suppose you want to develop a web application, suppose you want to develop some Amazon application, you have to write some logic. That logic is something which you'll be rating it in PL SQL. Again, it's a programming language. It's a programming language. Okay, SQL, PL SQL, everything is on same, but PL SQL will be advanced version of SQL. Okay, Let us see what is possible, what is not possible. Okay, now PL SQL or PL SQL is a combination of SQL along with the procedural features of programming language. What is a programming language of what is the features of programming language? Like you will be writing a for loop, while loop, if condition, and do while condition. So all this, if you see any programming language, you will be having some programming features like how to apply for loop, while loop, or if conditions. The same thing along with SQL, having some programming features is called PL SQL. Very important first line. SQL along with procedural features of programming language. Like in Java, you have OOPS concept, right? You have encapsulation, you have OOPS concept. And here what you'll do, let us assume very simple. You have if condition, do while condition, for condition. So all these are programming features along with SQL. If you have programming features as well, this is called PL SQL. Okay, so PL SQL adds many procedural constructs to SQL language to overcome the limitations of SQL. What is the limitations of SQL? What is a limitation of SQL? Limitation of SQL will be like you cannot implement a logic. If someone asking you, hey, develop a Amazon homepage, UI developer will develop it. Java developer will develop it. What about SQL developer? What about SQL developer? In SQL developer, he has to write a logic how to match the password. Okay, I'm telling you again and again, the project which you go in future always will have one SQL developer who will be assisting you. He will never know anything about Power BI. He knows only about SQL. He will be writing only logic on PL SQL. But you are the person who will be like knowing SQL as well. Some of the basic PLS SQL also you know, and you will be an expert in Power BI. Your role is completely a Power BI developer, right? But how do they implement logic internally is something which you are going to see. If someone is developing a logic, how does he write the logic? That is something which you are going to see. Okay, and till now till now, if you have seen my every query, I start with something called select code. I end it with a semicolon. I end with a semicolon. Okay, let us say select from table, star from table, where column name equal to some value. This is again one statement, and this is again end of the code. This semicolon is something, but it is a end of the code, right? So that is what we have seen. It is a end of the code. But what happens in PL SQL is, in SQL, everything is run on a single query, like one line. It is a one semicolon line will be running, and you come for the next line, you select it, you run it, you select it, you run it. It's going to be single query execution. Whereas come for PL SQL, it will apply the logic. It is going to execute 5 to 10 lines together, like you will be running a block of code. Some logic has been written, some logic has been written, and you are going to run it at once. Okay, so before I move on to the next slide, let me tell you why this PL SQL is required. Okay, maybe I'm telling that it's advanced version of SQL where you can write a logic, you can implement, but what I am going to tell is I'm going to give a simple example why it is required. Why it is required. Okay, so I'll go here. I will select one data. Okay. Can you tell me, I want to find the car count in 2014. What will I do? Client is asking, how many cars are present in 2014? How do you answer?
Select
Select star card data where year is equal to 2014.
Select
Star from card data.
Tara.
Select
I
star.
am asking. I am asking count. Okay.
Okay, count star
Count star
from card data
from car
where
data.
2014.
Okay. Where year equal to 2014. Okay. Okay. So this is the code you're running for 2014. I run this. I will be getting 38 cars. I'll be getting 38 cars. Okay. So now again what happens? Again what happens? Okay. Now the client is not going to be quiet. The client is not going to be quiet. He is going to ask one more thing, and this time he is going to ask, hey, tell me what is a car count in 2015. What you will do? Again, forget about this line. Let us assume that this line you have not saved it. This is a code you have written. This is a code you have written. Let us assume this code is something which you have not saved it. This code is something which you have not saved it. Next time he asks you, what you will do? Again you will go and write select. Again you will go and write select count of star from car data where year equal to 2015. This is something which you will be running again. This is something which you will be running again. Okay. Now if you see here, if I go and run this, I'll be getting something called 61 cars. Okay. Now what happens each and every time I cannot keep on writing this code. Do you think this is feasible? Every time they ask a question, you go write a same query, change with it. Don't you think from year to year is something it is same? Only this is changing, right? Okay, let me give you one more example. I will copy this as well, and this time I will give 2017. It's going to be 35 cars. What you observe in the line number 3, 4, 5, same, 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 even that equal to is same. Only changing is the year. Do you think every day you have to write this code? Maybe one option you can give me, I will save it. How long you will save it? How do you save it? What you save it? You put it in a notepad. You put it in a notepad telling that this is a code for getting all the car data. You will comment it to get car count with respect to year. This is what you are going to give in your system. Okay, but what I'm telling, don't save it in your notepad and don't keep on running every day. You store it in a system. Store it in a system. Where will I store? That is something which we are going to see about procedures. Okay, some task you have to apply repeatedly. Every day the client is asking on code, line number 3, line number 4, line number 5, every day they're asking, and you cannot keep on adding every day the same code. Let's automate it, and that automation is something which I'm going to do it with respect to Power BI. Okay, sorry, that I'm going to do with respect to PL SQL. Okay, so how can I do with PL SQL? How can I do with respect to uh, procedures? Okay, so something which I'll be doing now is with respect to procedures. How can I automate it? Try to remember this word. I want to automate this. Line number 3, line number 4, line number 4, 5, 6 is something which I want to automate it. My objective is automate. If I want to automate, how can I automate that? Okay, this is something which I have to understand, right? Now we'll go and learn about few things. What is the difference between SQL and PSQL? If you can just see it, SQL is you are running with respect to single line of query. That is, you put a semicolon. Once you put the semicolon, you will be able to run an SQL command. Where if you go for a PL SQL, you have to run a set of block of code, like minimum 5 lines, 10 lines, you will write set of code. Okay, so this stands for structured query language. This stands for procedural language, procedural language along with extension of SQL. This is what PL SQL is. Okay, so this is for purposes, it is like a source of data that is to be displayed, like you will be writing a select statement and you will write a group by having condition, joins, everything you'll go and write. This is going to be the displaying purpose, but what you will do is, this is something logic has to be written. Like I need a login information, I need something like extra information, I'll go and write logic. Okay, so what is DDL, DML?
Data definition language, data manipulation language.
Okay, so you are defining a structure, this is a table, so that comes under DDL. You are inserting some records, that becomes DML. So you will be writing all the code, but what you will be writing in PL SQL is you are writing the block of code that has procedures and functions where you are automating it, okay. So this is something like it's a normal SQL. In PL SQL is something which you will be writing a logic, where you will be writing using procedures, functions. Okay, and come for use case,
Ah,
and come for use case. Use case is something you can retrieve, modify, delete, manipulate, you can do anything with respect to this. But here what I will do, PL SQL, you can create applications on the server page, like for example login details, you want to write some logic, everything you can write it with respect to PL SQL. Okay, so this is a basic difference. Let us go and see how you can automate this. Okay, the first concept which you are going to learn in PL SQL is going to be procedures. What did I tell? Till year it is same. Only the input is changing, that is with respect to 2014, 15 or 17. Only this is changing. Everything else is going to be same. What can I do? I can tell that procedure is a stored program that you can pass parameter and get the results you want. What I will do, I will store the 90% of the code in one place and I will just send the parameter 2014, 2015, 2016. The year which I send, I will get the desired output. Whatever input I am giving, for that I will be giving the desired output. That is what I am going to achieve with respect to procedures. Okay, again I'm telling, it is something you are storing somewhere and you're using it. I would say a procedure is a like a sub program. You write it once, reuse it n number of times. Why are you going and writing every day select start from table, select start from table, select start from, put it in a procedure, store it, and you're going to get as per your results, like whatever you want, you go and get it. Okay, now just like a table, just like a column, just like a joins alias name, you have a table name, you have a column name, everything has to be having a name. So procedure has also a name. Okay, procedure also has a name, and it's like a parameter. I'll be sending 2014, 15, 16, something which I will be giving, and inside that I am going to have an SQL statement. Okay, what we are going to do now, we are going to implement our first code, that is we will try to automate it. We will try to automate it. Okay, so what we will do, we will see the syntax for procedure. Syntax for procedure. Okay, see what happens is in SQL, if it is something with respect to semicolon, it is something with respect to semicolon, it is treating as end of code. You write semicolon at the end, right? So you write the semicolon, it is treating the end of the code. But what I need now, block of code to be executed. If it is finding a semicolon, it will end the line. What SQL will do, or SQL tool will do, MySQL tool, in case it finds something like semicolon, it is going to end the code. Okay, but I don't want to end the code. I want to execute a block of code. What I will do is I will give something called delimiter as my first line of the code. Always remember, if I want to write some specific logic which wants to run within 5 lines, 6 lines, always make sure you give some delimiter. Okay, and this delimiter, it is telling that start my code. You will find semicolon, you will find multiple semicolon, but don't end the code unless you find this symbol again. Until and unless you find the symbol again, you are not supposed to close my code. That you have to save it as a block of code, because if it is finding a semicolon, it is going to end. But what I am telling my system now, unless you find the symbol again, that becomes a block of code. I found the symbol again, so that means that is the end of the code. This is going to be a complete block of code, whereas it was a single line of code in SQL. This is also SQL only. Inside, if you see, you'll have select statement, everything. But what exactly I'm going to tell my system, unless and until you find a delimiter, you are not supposed to, you're not supposed to close it. Okay, now what I will do, I will go to my code, I will write one delimiter. Okay, I'll write one delimiter. What will I do, the first line of the code is going to be delimiter. Okay, so delimiter, and what is this delimiter is going to be, I can use any symbol. Here I've used dollar symbol, now I can use any symbol. Okay, so once I write this, unless and until you find this again, you run my code, it is going to be one block. Unless and until you find the symbol again, it is going to be one block. Okay, now next, the syntax will be create procedure name. Okay, so it's going to be create procedure name. What I will do, I'm going to execute one procedure. Now I will write create procedure name. I'll just write card details. I will just write card details. Okay, so once I do this, there is one open parameter and close parenthesis. Okay, so now what I will do, there is something called begin. Begin means start of the logic. Begin means start of the logic. What I will do, I will write begin and I will write end. Very simple. I'm going very slow and I'm writing from very I'm writing it in very simple way. I've created a delimiter. Delimiter tells unless and until you find here, you don't end the code. Okay, I've created a procedure and the procedure name I've given and I'm going to begin. And here I will be writing some set of SQL statements. Now let me write star from select star from car data. Select star from car data. Okay, currently in which database I am? I am in select database. If I'm running this, in which database I am? Amazon DB. Some Amazon DB is there, but I want to switch it. I'll go and use. We have created one database, one India DB. So I'll move on to this. Now if I run this, I have this. Okay, so if you see here, these are the many tables we created: car data, customer information, phone number, product information, sales information, everything we have created it. This is all tables. There is something called store procedure. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to store this code. I'm going to store this code. Okay, so how can I store it? I will create a procedure. Okay, now what I've done, this is fine. Now I'll remove this. This is not required. So my code will start from delimiter. It will create a procedure and it will begin and it will end. Let us run this. Create procedure. Procedure has been created. This procedure has been created. If you just go and refresh it, you will find in the store procedure that there is a one procedure that is created and that is called car details. Okay, now to get the complete records of car data, what I used to do, I have to go and write select star from car data. Am I not getting? The same thing if I want to get with respect to procedure, now I will write call this procedure. I'm not writing any select code. The select code, I've saved it in this procedure.
Excuse me, Santosh.
Yes.
I'm very sorry that can you repeat a class for last 5 to 7 minutes, please? Back one. My Wi-Fi has gone out.
No, I was just telling, if you have a set of code, okay, that I want to automate it, and for that automation is something I have a syntax and I've written the same syntax, whatever you saw it in the presentation. That delimiter, it is a start of the code. This is my end of the code. In between, I have given the syntax, create procedure, procedure name, begin, and set of statements end. The same thing I implemented. I typed it. That's all. Nothing else. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
yeah. Now, whenever I want to run a statement, I have to keep on writing like this. What I have to write? Select start from car data. Again, tomorrow they come. Again, tomorrow also you will run this. But now what I've done, I've created a procedure and that procedure is, I've stored it. Now if I go and run this car details, I've got the result. Do you think I've run any select statement? Not at all. Tomorrow you go again, they ask, well, I need to see the display the records. Just go and run line number 10. You will get it. This has already been stored. In that procedure, I have a something called select code. Select star from car data. Okay, now one thing you have to understand is now how can I fulfill my requirement? My requirement was this one. Every year I need to keep on getting the count based on what they ask. Like client may ask 2014, 15, 16. Okay, Now let us do one thing. I will modify this code now. First line will be always delimiter, and this time I will give the symbol. So unless and until you find this symbol, you run my code. That's what it is telling. Okay, now create procedure car details count. Car details count. I'll open the bracket. Okay, I'll close the bracket and I'll go and write begin and I'll write end. This is there. I have to write a logic. It will start here and it will end here. And I've created a procedure. This time I'm giving a different name, car details count, and I will return a begin and end. Now what I will do, select star from car data till where it is same, till here it is same. I will copy it. I'll put it like this. Till here it is same. Only the year will change. Only the year will change. Okay. Now what I will do, I will give one variable. I will just give one variable rather than giving 2014, 15, 16. I'm going to give one variable. Okay. Now I want to pass this. I want to pass this. So how can I pass this? How can I pass this? This value is something which I'll be passing in this bracket. In this bracket, you write in. In stands for input. In stands for input. That means I have to send some input, and that input what I'm sending is for this procedure I want to send year. I want to send year. This value client will tell me whether it's a 2014, 15, 16. The client will tell me. So what I'm going to do is I will write in YR. This YR, whatever I send, what is the data type of it? Let us say it is int. Let us say it is int. This int, this is a data type. This is input. In stands for input. This YR, whatever I send, that will go and sit in this year. If I send 2015, it will go and sit here. If I send 2016, it will go and sit here. If I go and run 2017, it will go and sit here. Now I'm going to run this procedure. Okay, whether it is run, yes, no error, no syntax error. Okay, now if I go and do a refresh, I will find one more procedure, car details count. Okay, now I will call that procedure, call car details count. This time I will send one parameter, and that parameter is going to be 2014. The moment I call this 2014 will go and sit in this variable. Why? It is an input. In stands for input. This 2014 will come and sit here, and this 2014 will come and sit here, and it will execute this. And it will execute this. Now if I run it, 38 cars. 38 cars is present in 2014. If client is asking 2015, need not write, go and write everything. Select count of star from car data where year equal to 2015, 16. You did not write anything. Just go and change this. Just go and change this 15 to 16, or maybe 14 to 15. Now you run this 61. Client is asking 2016. Change it. Send the parameter 50 cars. Client is asking 2010. Again, I can do it. Nothing rocket science. Just need to change the parameter. 15 cars. Now you tell me, you will just change the parameter, or you will just go and write the every time you write a go and write a select code.
We will just change the parameter. That's
Yes,
much.
I have. Yes, I have automated it. The complete code I have automated it. How did I automate? A very simple procedure. I've written this. Just line number 9 to line number 9 to 16 is the logic. Whatever number you send, it will go and sit in this YR. YR is a variable. It will accept input, and it is a data type is a int. I'm just telling what is a data type so that it will store the value. And this Y I will use it in my code. And all this is going to be same line. For everything, it's going to be same. This is also same till here. This is also same. I understand this. This is only going to be the dynamic value. I'll put it as variable. You send me whatever you want. You send me whatever you want. Okay. Now what we have done is we have solved the issue of solving a problem which is my repetitive task. Any year you send, you will get the result. Just change it and call the procedure. Four cars were there in 2005. You don't believe me? In 2005, select star, count of star from car data where year equal to 2005. I run it. I'm going to get 4 records, 4 cars. This is what I'm getting from the procedure. What should I do? Just to call that procedure. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an assignment. Okay. Right now you have to tell me the answer. Client is asking me every year how many petrol cars are there. In 2005, how many petrol cars are there? 3 cars are there. In 2015, how many petrol cars are there? We have something called 45. Actually, in 2015, 61 cars are there. In that 61, only 45 cars are petrol cars. Now tell me, how can I automate this? What are the changes I will do here?
Just add
Parameters will be increased.
I'm sorry, one by one.
Parameters will be increased.
What should I change?
So the changes will be like create procedure, car details count, in brackets, IN, year, int, comma, fuel, fuel type.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you can keep FT.
The parameters which we can give.
What should I enter?
No need to add any parameter.
FT where we have to write it.
FT space,
Okay.
fuel type, and the data type.
I'll type fuel type, and first I'll write in condition, and I'll write FT fuel type, and I'll give varchar.
And here,
Okay.
in the select statement.
Okay. In the select statement.
And
fuel type.
Fuel type is equals to FT.
Okay.
Santosh, why do you need the parameter here for this one? Because your value is always constant, right? Fuel type is equal to petrol, right?
Okay. What if I need diesel?
For that one, you need to change. You need to have a parameter. But in this case, you can copy that one, right?
Yeah. If you want only petrol vehicle, you can go and hard code it here. But I want to be dynamic. If client is asking me both, like what is a petrol and diesel. So for example, this will be diesel.
Yeah.
So
in that case, you want to do that one. Yeah.
Yes. In that case, you need a value. So I've written automated this function. Okay. So anyone telling this will not work? line number 25 to 33, anyone is telling it will not work. Two parameters, year and fuel type. Here will, whatever year I will send, it will go and sit here. Whatever fuel type I'll send, it will go and sit here. Any doubts? Now we'll see whether it will run or not. I'll go here. I'll run this. I'll make sure the procedure is created. Procedure is created. See, I'm creating multiple procedures. Okay, card details count, card details count one, but I can use it n number of times. Creating once, I can use it n number of times. Okay, now what I will do, I will go and call the procedure. So how to call? Call card
Call
details.
Card details underscore count one.
Okay, what parameters I have to send?
year
Count
to 2015,
procedure name count one.
Why count
comma,
one? Okay, okay,
petrol.
petrol.
Double quotes in petrol. Yeah.
Petrol. Okay, so what I've done, this 2015 will go and sit in YR. This petrol will go and sit in FT. That is nothing but my variable. And in my query, if YR will be used, and in FT this will be used. Now I'll go and run this.
Santosh,
Procedure
one
name
thing.
wrong. Procedure
Santosh,
name wrong.
See,
count
while
card
creating
details
procedure,
count
you
one.
have
Count
mentioned
one.
it as count one.
Okay,
Count
sorry,
one.
sorry. Yeah. Now I'll go and run this. I'm going to get 45 cars. I'm going to get 45 cars. This 45 cars is the answer for this. Okay, now if I go and run this car data, okay, I have diesel as well. I have diesel as well. So let's copy this and I'll just say 15 cars are diesel car. 15 cars are diesel car. Okay, now in this 60 cars, maybe 61 cars, petrol cars is 45 cars, diesel car is 15 cars. Now I want the answer as 15. What should I change?
Instead of petrol, we used to keep the data type as diesel. Send the parameter diesel.
Okay, let's run this. I've got 15. So basically what I'm doing, wherever the code is same, this it is same, until again and this is same. Okay, a year it is same, year it is same, everything I've stored in the procedure. Wherever the value I need it, that is something I'm going to put a variable, and that variable is something I'll be using with respect to this details. This is how we will write our procedures. Even after 10 days, if I run this, still I will be able to see this because it is stored in the procedure. Now whatever I'm sending everyday code, right, I'm going to save it. Like all this code yesterday we have run it, I'm sending it. How long you can maintain with your notepad, right? How long with your notepad? Just put the logic into one procedure, call it as a store procedure, everything is getting stored. You just need to call it. Don't write select statement again and again. Write it once, save it, use it n number of times. Unless and until there is an external logic change, this procedure is going to be remain same. Okay.
Santosh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Before calling the procedure, if you want to know the what type of parameters or what parameters are need to be passed to that procedure, how is there any way to check?
Actually, you are the person who is going to write the procedure, because as per the logic you are going to write, so you have to be aware of it. In case you don't know, you can go and always see this. Okay, you can go and always see this. So it will tell you what is a parameter. This is a logic has been written. If I go and select, there is a select button. If you open, it will tell it as accepts input. So if you go and select this, if you select this, it will tell what is the input. So IN stands for input. So what are the input it accepts, you can go and directly say it. For example, your friend has written logic and you want to use it. Okay, in that case you will not know, correct? So as a teamwork, every time you are not the only person who's going to create. Maybe as and again I told, right, in a project, SQL developer who's going to write the logic, but you are a Power BI developer. You want to use it. What you can do, just go to this MySQL store procedure, just click it. There is a setting button here. Just click it. You will get to know what is a procedure. And you go here, you select the select button. It is accepts one input, that is year. And you go here, you select this. It accepts two inputs. One is with the year, one is with the fuel type. So it accepts two inputs. You can see the procedure if someone has written. If tomorrow we all belong to same project, I have written this functions, you will be able to see the same functions in your store procedure if everyone is connected to the same database. That time you can go and see what is the parameters that you have to give to this procedure. Very good question. In real time, someone else would have created a procedure. Okay, your teammate SQL developer would have created. You want to go and check, just go and click this and you will get to understand what type of procedure it is, and you start giving the parameter with respect to the when running the code. Like when running the code, you go and give the parameters like this. Clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
Santosh.
Santosh.
Santosh, before passing the parameter, we are giving in, right? Is that mandatory to give, or
Yes.
what?
In is
What?
in is mandatory because it accepts, it knows that it is an input. It knows that it is an input. Okay, if it is not giving input, how it will know whether it, what is this variable? Okay, so something I give, right, this number I give, this two numbers, it has to treat me as input to this procedure.
So
These are
if
the
we miss,
inputs.
will it give error while
Okay, let us
creating?
try, this. Okay, so I'll go copy paste again. There is no syntax error. Okay, but let's run it. I think, okay, we'll see. It's created. It's created. Okay, the procedure is created. I'll go and refresh it. What is the procedure now? Okay, it is telling that it is YRNFT. Okay, but what if I go and run it? I will run this now and I will run with this too. I'm getting, but the confusion is going forward. Okay, in our next procedures, you will be using something called out as well. Like out means output variable. So in that case, it will not know whether it is input or output. This is it's working now. If I don't give in, still it's working. I'm able to get the result. Okay, this car details too is something which I'm getting. But in future, what happens? I need some output variable. That time I have to give a keyword like out. So if I don't give in or out, the system will not understand. The system will not understand whether this is input or it is an output. So always make sure you give a proper value. Like if it is in means it is input. If it is ot means output. So you mention that so that it will be also on a safer side. You need not have a confusion.
Yeah, we will also have some clarity. But out is a mandatory, I think, right? In is just to just by saying this, in is looks like in is not mandatory. Even if we don't give in, it is accepting.
Okay, we will see that when you come for out, we will check whether out will be really working or not. We'll check that. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Santosh,
Okay.
one
Any?
more
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, so delimiter only, we have to use only at the time of creating procedures. While calling, no need to use any delimiters.
For calling is not required. See,
Right?
why is yeah. See, if this semicolon is, it is finding a semicolon, SQL will tell okay, end of the code. But I don't want to execute this. I want to execute from line number 36 to line number 44. So that means the complete set of code has to be run. For that, what I am going to do is I am going to tell write a delimiter. Unless and until you find this delimiter again, keep on executing my code. That is what the instruction I'm giving to this PL SQL.
In the first example, we haven't used any delimiter.
I've used, right? This is a delimiter.
Before that, we have used. Okay. Before that, reduced any. This is the first example. Okay.
This is the first function we wrote. I've used this delimiter as double slash. Here I've used dollar symbol. Okay, and I've used a dollar symbol. Here also I've used dollar symbol. You can use any symbol, but make sure you end up with the same symbol. That means it will
Okay,
tell.
If we don't use it, will work.
If you don't use, how it will know where it is the end?
Because we are selecting that code, no?
No, I am not selecting this. I am selecting and running for the first time. Do you think I'm running this? Means if I running this is what I'm running, right? I'm not running this. This I will write only once, and it is going to get stored in the store procedure. And whenever I want, I am using it. So I'm not each and every time I'm not running this, right? This one, if you run this again, what it is telling? What is the error?
Procedure already exists.
Then it's already exists, right? So I cannot keep on running it again. Once I will create it, and then I will use it.
Yeah, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have seen this procedure. Any questions? Tomorrow, if I ask you any logic to be implemented, will you be able to write this? Yeah,
Yes,
will you be able to write this? Yes. This is how you
Yes,
can
sir.
automate it. Okay. Now what we will do? We will just move one step forward. That means we'll just write a few of the complex logic. Whatever you have seen, it's a very simple logics. Whatever you have seen, it's a very simple logic. Okay. Now what I will do? I will go and implement a bit of one step ahead. We will go with one step ahead. So what I will do? I will go and write one more function. So this is what I explained. You just give input parameter and you'll get. And what I will do? Okay, now we will see. There is one database which I've created. Okay, I have my database, and I have with respect to sales information. Okay, so yesterday I told you this is a user ID. This much sales he has made on this date. User 2, let us assume this is me, this is you, this is one more friend. Okay, how much they have purchased, or which year they have purchased. Okay, now if I ask you to get how much sale happened in 2019, how do you do it? Interview question. Simple SQL code. Forget about PL SQL now. I'm asking, how do you get 2019 sales with respect to this table?
Select star from. Select sum of sales from sales. Some sales where 2_date.
2_date is really required.
Date is equal to date is equal to
We have to first extract only for the year, right?
I need only for 1 year, 2019.
yeah, two date underscore date date y.
To date you just ignore. We have not that covered. So to date you ignore. What simple your work? Yesterday we have covered this.
Yeah.
No one? Yesterday we have covered this, right? And I'm telling it's interview question as well.
First we need to extract here, sir.
How do you extract here?
Comma extract after sum of cells, comma
Select star, comma.
Select star, comma. Select star, comma.
Extract,
Extract
open bracket, year from sales. Sale date
year from
from
date.
sales.
This will work?
Sales,
Sales,
year
right?
from sales.
Year from sale.
no.
Yeah.
It's
No. Date.
Okay. Okay.
No. Use that extract here in place of where condition.
You can rename the
Okay, I'll rename it. I'll rename it as year.
it.
Okay. Now if I run this, yeah, and I got it. Now in 2019, what was a sale?
Yeah, in the second query, you write the where condition, the extract one here. Date is equal to, yeah, that's
Year,
right there. That's right. Extract. Yeah, that's right. Extract.
okay. Hmm.
Year from date. Close the
Okay.
brackets. Yeah, is equal to 2019.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone agree, disagree? It will work, it will not work.
it will not work.
It will not work.
It will
Because
not work. Why?
Column name is not there.
Existing
Extract.
column. An existing column.
Existing
We are
column.
using where condition,
Sorry?
whatever the existing columns is there, that the column is used in where condition.
Yeah, but this is not something like group by, right? This is not something like sum. This is not like a count. This is not something like average. It's not aggregate function, right? This is just an extraction. So if I have sum, if I have count, if I have average, then I can tell that this is not an existing column. But what is happening here? Extract. Okay, we'll see. We'll see whether it will work or not.
It will work, but it will not display the year, which year the sales is representing.
I'm sorry.
I said it will work, but it will not represent the year which the sales is representing.
That's because I've not given year here. Like, if I give year, I will get year. I have not given year, right? Okay.
Yes, that's what I.
Okay. Yeah. So now this is 2019. Let's try that. Let's try if I want with respect to 2018. If I go and I'll copy this first. I'll copy this and I'll paste it. This was my result for 2019. 2018 sales I want. And this is a total 2018 sale. Okay, 2018 sale. I've got it. Now if I want 2020 sale, how much I will get? This much. Okay, now this is working because I'm extracting year from date. That means this extract I'm doing, and even though it's an extra column that has been added, okay, but still I can find it here. It is not something like sum, it's not like average. Okay, for example, now you tell me, after writing this, now I will write and sum of average equal to greater than 50. Now it will work or not?
Yeah, it will work.
It will work.
not
Yes, sir, it will work.
Not
Like it will never return null. I mean, it will never return.
Okay,
Invalid
because of
use
the
of
group
group by.
function. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've clearly told you whenever you have sum of sales where condition will not work, you have to have having condition. filtering with respect to aggregate function. That is what we have learned in having. Okay, but now here it's not working. Here it's not working because I cannot filter it. Okay, now one more question. One more question. If you're telling year, comma, sum of sales, okay, and whenever I'm using an aggregate function, you have to use a group by function, group by year. Okay, now this will work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should work, but it will work only for 2020.
Okay, why it's throwing an error?
So
Okay,
after
year is on
You
the
use
table.
the
where
aggregate
condition
function
is
for
not
sales.
used.
I'm sorry.
Having is
Year
not
is not in a table.
Having is next. I will write it. But why this query is not running?
Year is not in a table. Sales table.
Yes, year
Eh,
is not in a table. How can I fix this? I can write like this: extract year from date,
Date.
and I can give year. Okay, and this year I'll group by year. Let us see now I will get this result or not. Now I got it, 2020. Okay, so let us write. I don't write this. I will be getting for all the years. Okay, now comes the where condition, having condition. After group by, if I want to filter out this sum of sales, that maybe I'll give some alias name, total sales. This is aggregate function. This aggregate function you cannot use in a where condition. Now I will write having total sales greater than 13,500. Now for this total sales, which one is thousand? Maybe everything is 1,000, 13,000. Let me give 1,800. So which one is 1,800? Only this record should come. Only this record should come. Now if I run it, I'll get it. See, always try to understand where you will use group by, where you will use having condition. Very, very important. If you don't know this, definitely like you will be struggling in SQL. Where you have to write group by, where you have to write having. Group by will come whenever you're writing aggregate function. Before aggregate function, any column you give, you have to group it. And when will having condition come? Whenever you want to filter it with respect to aggregate function, that is what you have to write a having condition. Remember this. Is it clear?
Yes, Santosh.
Arun, sorry, Santosh.
Hmm?
In this one, if you take only 106 and 107 query lines, ignoring the group by and everything, okay.
Okay.
If you run those two, just uncomment that one.
Okay,
Uncomment, yeah.
I've selected only this, so only it will work. You want
Yeah,
me to
in
run?
that, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is achieved. Only the thing that now you want to use the having condition, you are using that group by year, right?
No, tell me, is this correct or not first? Where did
Yeah, it is.
41,000 come from?
This is okay. This is wrong.
What is the sales in 2019?
Yeah,
13,750. But what you're getting
yeah,
here?
yeah. This is the total sales.
Total sales, and also remember it is completely wrong information.
Yeah, yeah. It
2019
is
41,000
very
complete
first year.
wrong information. Yes. So once again I'm repeating, aggregate function it is there means you have to always write group by. If you miss this group by, this is a result. Completely in
Oh,
tomorrow if client is asking what happened in 2019, actual sales was 13,000. You tell them this number gone. That's all. Everything is gone.
but
By
if you
mistake,
uncomment, then where condition?
I've
Just
already
uncomment.
uncommented, right?
No, comment, uncomment.
Okay, that time
Yeah,
it will work. That time it will work. But what will happen is suppose I will get only 2020. Okay, but if I want 2019, I will get it. Okay,
yeah.
because where condition is something, first I will filtering it. With respect to 2019, how much I'll getting. But what if I need everything? In that case, group by will be required in case of every aggregate function. That's what I'm telling. Keep it like a thumb rule. Don't tell that, okay, when I use a where condition, group by is not required. Every time you write group by. Every time you root group by. See, even if you write group by also, it's coming. Even if you have not written the, not writing the group by also, it's getting. But why I'm getting? Because of where condition. Okay. But don't remember all that. Always you remember group by is mandatory if you're writing an aggregate function. This is how you have to remember. Clear?
Yeah, Santosh, it is clear.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what is my requirement? I'll go back here. Okay. My requirement is very, very simple. Can you tell me how much sale happened in 2020? Automate it. I want to automate it. Everything I written a code like this. Okay. Can anyone guide me to write a procedure?
Yeah, delimiter.
Okay. Then
Create procedure. Procedure name.
okay.
Then go to the next line in the in parameter in
Okay.
that year YR integer.
Okay.
Then yeah, that's all. Then go to the next line and give the query, copy that query and
Copy this query. Yeah.
yeah,
Begin, right?
the
Yeah.
begin and end the procedure
Begin, end,
and
and in between I'll write this code. And
yeah,
this is
and
not required.
we
I need.
replacing the 2019 with YR.
Okay. That's all.
Yeah,
Any corrections? Or this is correct?
yeah, this is okay.
Okay. Correct. Okay. I'll run this. I'll make sure the procedure is created without any syntax error. Yes, it's created. And I will make sure
All
call
Sales of year in brackets 2019.
2020, 19, sorry.
yeah 2020 2019. Yeah, 2020. What was the sale? 13735. I got it. Once I run this 2019, 13750. 13750. Okay. So in case, okay, this I'm asking with respect to year. Client tells me I want with respect to specific dates, start date and end date. Forget about year. I'm not sending only year. My sales I need only with respect to 2019 January 1st till 2019 June 1st. Now how can I achieve this?
Use between the dates.
Okay.
For, instead of int, we can use date column, right? Date,
Okay.
data type.
Okay. How many parameters you will have to give with respect to this procedure?
2 parameters. We need to
Two
give.
parent.
Start
Okay.
date.
Okay.
Start.
I'll give st start date, and I'll give date, and I'll put comma, and again I'll put in, and this I'll give end date ed. Okay. And again I'll give date, Okay, and what I will do, where I don't need all this extract and all. I don't need all this extract. Where here between what is next?
ST and
SG between, right?
ST
ED.
and
And
ED.
ED.
That's all it is. Whatever value you send it, it will go and sit here. Whatever value you send it, it will go and sit here. Okay. So I'll create this one. I'll run this. It's created. We'll go and see. Yeah, it's created. Now what I will do, I will call this, but this time I have to give something called date, like this is a start date. So 2019, now 01, 01, comma 2019, 01, sorry, 06, 01. Okay, I need a sales between two dates, that is January 1st to June 1st. Now if I run this, unknown column year in the where clause. Okay, I've removed this year. Year is not present, but I have date here. Date is what was present in this table, right? Where is the table? Date, yeah, date it should be. So it should be date. Did you understand what mistake was happening? Your date should be there. So date between this. Now I will run this again. It will be throwing an error. So drop procedure. It's already created. So I have to drop the procedure first. So drop procedure first. Then I will recreate it. Now I'll go and run this. I got it. From January 1st till June 1st, the sales made was 4,000. If I want with respect to complete year, some 13,000 will come. This was with respect to complete year. So with respect to 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, whatever it is, you need not rewrite code. You need not go and write between. No need to do anything. Just go and give two parameters, start date and end date. It will give as per the requirement. Okay. Are we clear?
Yes, Santosh. Santosh, once go to that code once.
Mhm.
So here, select sum of sales, comma total sales we are using, but it is not required. No?
Why it's not required? If I don't do this?
Total sales. No, I'm saying about total sales.
Oh, total sets is alias name. You can ignore.
Yeah, because we haven't used that, so it's creating confusion. So, yeah.
No. What happens if you don't write is here instead of total sales, you'll get sum of sales.
Okay, yeah.
It's not confusing, but again, if I see, for example, I'll rerun again, and this time, if I run this, sum of sales, alias name, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So what we are going to do is next we will see some more complex code. Okay. So going forward, we will be writing something like some if conditions and all we will write. Else condition, if condition, everything we will write. So this procedure we will see tomorrow. So slowly we are moving into see, now I'll be using out variable. This is input, this is output. Okay, so we will run this. I want to define the type of a customer, like what type of a customer. All this time it was very simple. Okay, what you have written between condition, in condition, and you have used something like which car sales, count sales.
Excuse me, Santosh. Excuse me, Santosh. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, I'm audible.
Yeah. Now it is audible.
Yeah, actually,
Santosh,
sorry, I lost power actually. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Mm. Okay. So what I was telling is tomorrow we will see if conditions. Okay, this if conditions and all you cannot write it in your select code. Have you ever seen writing else if conditions and all in a select code? No. So what we are going to do, we are going to see this function tomorrow. But step by step, we will be writing some complex functions as well. Okay. So this one we will see in the tomorrow session. Okay. All good.
Yes,
Yeah.
Santosh.
See, I've sorry. Tell
Yeah.
me.
If you don't mind, can you send this today's session at the earliest, please, on the upload on the
Yeah.
SharePoint?
Yeah. Just now I'll send. After the class, I'll send.
Yeah, just to avoid the confusion of group by and having classes.
Yeah. Sure. I'll send that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So please practice it. And again, I'm telling, even though it's not your role, like even though it's not role, sometimes you will be running a code, existing code, or you'll be going and seeing it. Client is asking, hey, pull me the data from 2019, pull me the data from 2017. So you need not go and ask an SQL developer. You are a multi-skilled person. You know SQL, you know PLSQL as well, how to write a function, everything. See, internally the code is same. Internally, the SQL code is going to be the same. If you see any procedure, the code is going to be the same. Okay, just only then I'm passing a parameter. That is all it is. Anyone can write it if you know logic, if you know how to use it. So let's learn it this as well. Very important. In case if you're mentioning that I do have basic knowledge on PL SQL as well in your resume, it is definitely going to be adding a value to your resume. One guy who has put like I know SQL, one guy was put I know Power BI, and one more guy who's put I know Power BI, I know SQL, I know basics of this. One or two question may come from here. They will ask you what is the difference between procedure and function. If you can tell that, you are adding one question extra. That means you're answering one question extra. High chance of you getting selected. See, end of the day, objective is to get a job, right? So what are the things you have to keep in mind? What is the interview question? How you have to prepare? What are the expected questions? Everything I'm telling in flow so that you also prepare it. So this, if you mention basic knowledge on PL SQL, maybe one question will come: procedures and functions difference. Tomorrow you will answer this. Tomorrow, once you complete functions as well, you will know what is the difference.
Santosh, what is the
Yes.
difference between function and procedure and stored
Uh,
procedures?
we have not yet completed functions. Functions is our next topic. Procedures itself, we still have some
All
complex
functions,
procedures.
procedures, and stored procedures.
Procedures and stored procedures both are same. Both are same. You are storing it and you are using it. That's all. That is nothing much difference. Procedure is like repetitive task. It's a concept. Procedure is a concept. Like how do you do a repetitive task? It's a procedure. Okay. But if you want to come for store procedure, you're storing the code and reusing it. That is all is the difference. There is nothing like store procedure and procedure. The expected question will be what is procedure and function? That question they will ask. But store procedure and procedure both are same. Nothing difference.
Okay.
Yeah, here I am telling it's procedure, right? Here I am telling procedure, but if you go and see here, it is telling me store procedure. If you see the store procedure, so procedure is a concept. What exactly is a? But here I am giving as a store procedure. Nothing much difference. All good?
Yes, Santosh.
Okay. Okay, fine. We will meet
Ex-
tomorrow again. Any questions?
Yeah, excuse me, Santosh. I have one doubt. Not about PLSQL, about SQL. How to delete duplicate records based on row IDs?
How to delete duplicate records? Okay. You remember this code tomorrow? I'll write the code for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Santosh.
Tomorrow you remember this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very good point. They'll ask in the interview as well how to get to know the duplicates. So how do you remove the duplicates? Everything they will ask you. I will tell you tomorrow. Remember
Yeah,
me.
okay, thank you.